Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Alicia Budget Beauty. My name is Alicia. Here on my channel, I love all things affordable fashion and beauty. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews, palette reviews, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be a friend. All right, you guys, I have in my possession the brand new Silent Night palette, the Gourmande Girls in collaboration with Doodles by the Bunny holiday palette. Now this is already available. It got released a little bit early, I think because of maybe something going on family wise, but I just received it yesterday. I had to shoot it, product shots and all that. So now I'm going to do a couple looks with this with you guys and give you guys my opinion in case you haven't already purchased this. So if you want to get all of my thoughts and see a couple of looks with this very non-traditional holiday color story, keep on watching. All right, you guys, let's go ahead. Well, let's just address the packaging. So right off the bat, you can kind of tell this isn't your typical, red and green Christmas. Here we have the blue with the gold lettering. And then when we open it up and look inside, we also see that this is not a traditional color story for the holidays, but I actually really love that about this palette. I think it makes perfect sense. I think it makes sense because, everything out there is going to be, most things out there are going to be more traditional. This stands out. I do look at this and see winter, like a deep, dark wonderland. Silent Night. Obviously, it's going to be darker. You're just going to get those flecks of gold and yellow that you would see in the sky from stars. And then you have, like the browns, the earth, and then the blues of the sky. I think it is a really cool color story. Now, over here, I'm going to be showing you guys it more up close where you can kind of see the sparkle and the embossing as well. And then also the swatches of the duochromes, which there are 5 in here. So it is a more matte heavy palette. There are 14 shades, so that tells you 9 and 5. So they've really given us a lot to do here with the mattes. And, it's funny because when I first looked at this, and this is what is hard to tell in just still photos and why sometimes swatches are important to see as well before you make your purchases, and seeing people actually use the palettes, is I didn't really realize that this duochrome right here was going to be basically pink. So it has pink and looks like maybe blue. We'll see when it gets on the eyes. In the swatch, it looked mainly pink, but I know it is a duochrome. So that kind of changed this color story for me a little bit, because while at first I just saw that you're going to have mainly blue brown combo or blue yellow and brown, then that made me think, oh, when you pop pink in those combos, like pink and brown, pink and blue, pink and yellow, that opened this up a whole lot more. And you can't really tell that when you're just looking at the palette like this or even in product shots. So that was really interesting. But you guys, I think what I want to do, I plan on doing 3 looks. I'm going to do one on both eyes today, just as one look. And tomorrow I'm going to do one on each eye. So today I really want to stick with the yellow, the gold, and the browns in here mainly. And then this shimmer here, this duochrome, which is like a bluish silver, maybe in the inner corner. I want to show that this can be also like a very neutral kind of toned down look before I go into the more blue looks. So let's go ahead and get started with look number 1. Okay, first I'm going to go in with Mother, and it is the yellow in here. We've seen a lot of yellow here in a bunch of the Gourmande Girls palettes, and I'm okay with it because I love a yellow shade. That is really pretty. I need to pull out my other palettes, and I will do that maybe at the end of the video to see if this is a little different tone of yellow from, say, what's in Nightshade or the Haunted palette. I'll compare and see if it's a little bit different. But this has a lot of pigment to it. I've really been loving Gourmande Girls formula, the matte formula. I'm pretty sure Christina, that's the owner, by the way, I'm pretty sure she changed formulas a few palettes ago for the better. And I've just really, really, really been enjoying her matte so much. I really like that yellow. Okay, next I'm going to go with Twinkle. It's a little bit cooler tone brown, and I'm just going to put that right on this outer portion. So I was looking online. This came kind of suddenly. I don't know when it was originally supposed to be launched, but I think it went a little bit early because I want to say maybe Christina had to go out of town suddenly, something like that. So that's why it launched just bam. And so I was looking at it online. By the way, it's $54.99. I do have a code if you want the 10% off to make it about $50. But I noticed that it said in the description that this was Doodles by the Bunny. She already had this color story planned out. So if you don't know her, you should follow her. Okay, time out. I'm using All Is Calm. Okay. You should really follow her on Instagram, because what she does is she mocks up hypothetical, could be, should be sometimes, color stories and palettes for brands. So like I know she does ABH one, she does Pat McGrath, and Lord knows Pat McGrath should hire her just to do all of her concepts and color stories, since Pat McGrath can't seem to do anything different these days. So I believe she does Natasha Denona. I just popped up my lash, which by the way, you guys, I've been up since so early. My son had at his school had like parent PE day where parents come join for PE and participate, and it's fun, but they wanted us there super early. So like, I finished getting somewhat ready in the parking lot this morning at like 7:40. I was like in the car putting on my lashes, and anyway, now it's like midday. So that's why I already have lashes on and everything, but I don't have wings. So we'll probably leave wings off today. That's looking really pretty. Okay, anyway, so Doodles by the Bunny, she comes up with these palettes, and I guess she had already come up with this color story and this idea. And I don't know if she had already named it Silent Night, but I guess that is Christina, the owner of Gourmande Girls. It's her favorite holiday song. So I think it was just like perfect. Like, yes, let's go with that. So that is how this came to pass. Okay. So I think that looks really good matte wise. Those blended like a dream. Super, super easy. I guess I will to add another one in. I'm going to go in with Heavenly. So it is the lightest matte shade here. And I'm just going to blend that in. Use this angled brush to kind of get into this crease right here that I have issues with because of my carport lids that I have, brow bone. It's a really pretty shade. I like this shade because I can really go back over the top of these other browns and just kind of blend out the edges. Super pretty. It kind of looks like an egg yolk right there. All right. Next, I am going to, I'm looking for my brush here. I'll use this brush. I'm going to go in with this deepest. It's called Savior. Looks like it is a very, very deep, deep cool tone brown. So you guys probably notice there is this black in here and a white matte in here, and then this deep brown. So I know that Gourmande Girls has been doing a matte white and a matte brown, and a matte black in almost every palette. And I'm fine with that. I heard a couple of comments saying that they kind of not we're disappointed, but just we keep seeing that in every palette. But honestly, they're so useful. They really, really are, because if you look at this and this is too maybe mid-toned and deep for you, you can always use the white and you can blend it into some of those deeper shades to get lighter shades. And then a black is just always helpful, like if you want to smoke out, if you want to do a wing, something like that. So I don't mind, but they have been in most of the palettes lately. That is true. Okay, super, super pretty. So now I'm going to go in with Bright, and it is this gorgeous gold shimmer. Wow. Wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is one of the most shiny Bam golds I think that I own. I really, really do. Wow. And it is like a true holiday gold. Like shiny gold bow present type of gold. That is so, so, so pretty. Okay, I'm getting it all over my lashes here. Wow. Oh, love that. Okay, then for the inner, wait, it's not the brush that I needed. For the inner portion and corner, I'm going to use this to kind of push that down. I am going to go in with Peace. So that is this silvery, we're going to kind of mix tones here, because this is like a cool toned, silvery, metallic next to the gold. I need to pick it up with my finger. It's hard when I have lashes on to do a finger, but let me do the finger. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's pretty. Ooh, it's pretty when you lay it right next to the gold and a little bit on top. Ooh, okay. Really, really, really pretty. Let me try to kind of get it right there. Okay, this has like a, it's a silvery, this has a lot of different colors in here. When I swatched it, I thought it was mainly silver, but I think I'm seeing like green and gold and silver, something like that. So pretty. You guys, that's it. I feel like that was so easy to create this look. And I think it's really, really wearable. Okay, I'm going to finish this eye. And then I know what lip I definitely want to pair with this to like punch it up holiday. So I will be right back. All right, you guys, the final look is here. Lip is on. I will tell you guys, I did a tiny, tiny little detail off camera. I took Snowy, the white shade, and ever so slightly ran it under just this portion where I had Savior. And it kind of, I don't know, I just really like how it looked. It just came to me to do that. So it kind of transitions just like a little bit lighter here into deeper. You guys, I think this look is really, really beautiful. I think this is like a classic kind of holiday look here. It was also giving me a little bit, I don't know why, I was like tiger, tiger vibes, the eyes were, but I like showing that this palette, you know, if you're looking at it and you're like, I don't know, like I just see those blues, I'm not sure if I would have, you know, lots of everyday thing. I think you could get away. Now this is pretty glam looking, but it's just to show like you can do like just neutral. You don't have to pull in the blues for this look. But next look, I am definitely going to pull in both blues. I'm going to go into the blue mattes, and I actually used 7 shades today. So I just haven't used 7 others. And I may repeat, I think I may use some more browns tomorrow just to tie in with the blues, but here we have look number 1. And I really, really like it. One last thing, I was going to tell you guys what I put on my lips because I'm trying to get better about remembering to do that for you guys. So I use the Milani Understatement Lip Liner in Sassy Cherry. And then the red lip is this Giorgio Armani number 400. And it is Armani Matte 400. So that's one's on the lips. And now let's roll into looks number 2 and 3. All right, you guys, day number 2, I've been studying the palette some, and I actually swatched Silent Night and Child. Let me do that for you guys. Why don't I just do that for you guys? Okay. Silent Night, Child. So I had seen that some people thought maybe some of these colors were too similar. They're very, very different tones, these two. This is a warmer blue. This is a cooler toned blue, like a true deep navy. And then like a mix between maybe like a navy and a royal blue like I'm wearing right now. And then also Festive and Starry. So Festive and Starry. Festive first, Starry second. These are also quite different. So Festive is more of a blue purple shifting, and what is this one called? Starry is more of like a teal green blue sort of color. So I was thinking that these two would go better together, and these two, because what I also noticed doing that, I'm like, oh, this top row right here is a little bit more warm, and this whole bottom row is a little bit deeper, obviously, and cooler tone, except for this gold. I didn't really notice that before. So we are going to put the same kind of tones together a little bit here. All right, okay. So first I'm going to go in with Silent Night, the top blue shade, and I just want to put that on the about 2/3 portion of the lid, coming in towards the inner portion, but leaving that open to mix in All Is Calm, which is the brown on the top row. Okay, so now I've got All Is Calm on this brush, and I just want to blend that a little bit into Silent Night and have this be the inner portion of the lid. Okay, then I'm actually going to take a little bit of the white shade Snowy and use that to kind of brighten up and clean up this this inner outer edge. And this is like why I like a white, because it either just changes a shade a bit, or it's used to clean up some. Okay, now I'm going to go in with Savior. It is the top deepest brown shade, and I'm just going to work that. It's the one I used yesterday as well. I'm just going to work that into this outer portion of the lid and a little bit up into this crease. I know I said the top row was warmer. It is warmer than the bottom row, but it's still pretty cool toned. I just wanted to make that clear in case you're like, this looks really cool toned to me. It is, but it's warmer than the bottom row. The bottom row is very, very, very cool toned. Okay, I'm taking all this Calm, that top row brown shade, the more mid-tone, because the top is so deep and dark. I don't want this one to be quite as deep. Okay, just for a little fun, I'm gonna take Mother, the yellow, and I'm going to just blend that into this brown some. I thought that would be cool, a cool way to tie in the yellow. I wasn't really planning on using it today, but I thought it might be nice to show one look with yellow, brown, and blue. And that's probably how I would do that for a more natural way of bringing in the yellow with the blue anyway. I really like that blended in with that brown, actually. I think that looks good. Okay, now for the fun part, I think, is the shimmer. So we are going in with Starry. You see how, wow, how bright, glowing teal this looks. That looks really pretty, having the mattes be so deep around it. It just really showcases how bright this is. So pretty. And you know what? I think it would be fun to do the gold that we've already done. But since we have this yellow matte blended in a little bit down here, I just thought, let's add a little bit of gold. So this will be the look that really encompasses almost all the shades of the palette, the feel of the palette, except this one, the Frosty, that is that kind of surprise pink purple duochrome. I'm saving that for the next look. That's really fun, just working that in. Okay, I really love popping that gold in, popping it in the inner corner. Bam. And you guys, if it looks crazy, I always say these dramatic looks look crazy without lashes and liner and lipstick. And once that's on, it'll look fabulous. I promise. Okay, now it is time for this eye. And I am going to go in. Basically, I'm going to do the same sort of thing, except for just with the bottom row shades. So this is Child. And that's what we're gonna do on this 2/3 portion, just like this side. And hopefully you can see a little bit of a difference. I don't know if it'll show up as well on the monitor as it does to me here in person. This one's definitely more of that green tone to it. I'm not saying it's green. It just has a green tone to the blue, whereas this is a true deep navy, cool toned blue. You guys, instead of using the brown on the bottom though, the light brown, this Heavenly, I really want to use Snowy, the white, just to show why it's helpful to have it in there. So I'm going to blend this into, what's this called again? Child. And you can see how it creates this whole other beautiful shade of blue. Oh, that's so pretty. if you're missing that this palette doesn't have, if you're like, well, there's just 2 deep blue matte shades, you know, like where's the mid-tone or the lighter? That's what the white is for. You can create it yourself. And I love doing that. That's so, so pretty. I think honestly, white into a deep blue is just one of my favorite ways to use a white shade, specifically with deep blues. Okay, now the way I'm going to use the browns on the bottom is I'm going to use Twinkle. So that's the deeper brown shade. Deep, but I'd say it's like a mid-tone. On this outer portion. And then I am going to mix in Heavenly, which is that lightest brown, and also kind of the bottom edge to smoke that out. I say smoke that out. It's not the right word. I'm not smoking it out. I'm diffusing the edges. We'll say that. Just kind of gives it a brighter lower lash line. All right, now I have to use the black because it's the last matte. I want to make sure I use every shade. I know Gourmande Girl's black formula. All I'm really going to do with it is deepen up this outer portion. I know the black matte is nice and opaque, really pigmented, always works really well. It's in several of their palettes. So yeah, I know this formula really well. I know it's always really opaque. At first, I thought this might be the one shade I didn't think was necessary in the palette, having the black, because you have such a dark blue, such a dark brown. But when I go over to the end, I'm gonna say something about this black of why I think it does make the palette more versatile, but we'll wait till the end to get to that. Okay, now we're going into Festive. I'm really, really excited for this. Ooh, it's so pretty. So this is more blue toned, whereas the Starry has that kind of turquoise look. Actually, I feel like I need to add a little bit more. I feel like the gold kind of, I got it over a little too far. So hopefully you guys can tell that difference. This has like a blurple look to it. Do we hate that word? I hated it at first, and then now I never hear it anymore. And it is kind of the best way to describe a blue purple. So now that I don't hear it anymore, maybe I don't hate it as much. But for a while it was like, enough, everybody. You're not original with your blurple. Okay, now let's go Frosty. And this is the one that was kind of the surprise one to me, because it had sort of a pink purple hue to it. It has that pink purple hue to it, whereas it looks like it's just, you know, white with some sparkles, but it definitely, like, it picks up a little blue, picks up a little purple, a little pink. Okay, I really, really like that. I really, really like that. I love this eye. Okay, you guys, I am going to put on the lashes, liner, lip, come back, and we are going to talk about all my thoughts about Silent Night. All right, you guys, lashes are on, lip is on, liner is on. I love these looks. I do. Okay, let me tell you the lip I used. I put on the e.l.f. O Face in Drive, And then on top, I wanted like some sort of sparkle with like iridescent. So I used the Fate Saga by NYX from that collection, the Beatrix, and this has like a purple blue. Thought that was kind of perfect for this look. And you guys, I think both of these are so pretty. I think this one is my favorite out of all three looks, pretty sure. I just love how the white and the blue mix together. I love the tone that it creates. So let me go over this palette with you guys. I do think that this is more versatile than it looks upon first glance. I know some people were waiting to see reviews. They thought shades were too similar, but they're all very different in tone. Like I said, this is a cool tone palette, you know, with exception to this yellow and this gold here. But there's depths of cool and warmth here. So like top row is warmer than the bottom row, even though it's mostly cool toned as well. I do think that the white and the black really help this palette. Now, a look that you may not even think about doing in this palette, what if you just did the black matte and the yellow, and then you could do like the gold shimmer. You could do the kind of like silver pewter, you know, like if you left out the browns and the blues. I don't think everyone would always think to use the black and the yellow together, but you could definitely do that. That's a whole different look that I didn't even dabble in. I do think that the frosty, this inner corner here, how it can pull blue or pinkish or purple, kind of makes it more versatile as well. I'm even wondering what that would look like layered on top of this gold. I think that could be really pretty. I'm actually just curious. So I'm gonna put it on my hand real quick, even though my hand is such a mess. Okay, this is what it would look like. How pretty is that? It kind of gives it this like, now it's even kind of like a multi-chrome. So I think there's so much that you really can do with this. You can do the neutrals and make it more everyday. You can go deep, dark, and smoky. You can go, you know, bright with the yellow. So I do think there's at least a good 10 solid different looks in this palette that I could see just thinking very quickly. Formula is amazing, just like Nightshade, Haunted, and Spooked. Now, I did tell you guys I was going to compare the yellows from Haunted, Nightshade, and okay. So here's all three of those palettes. And I think you can kind of see right here how these yellows do differ. Like this is a true gold shimmer. This one is that like really bright, like almost like neon yellow shimmer. These are probably the two closest. Let's see, it's So Haunted, In Haunted, and Mother. But as you can see, let that middle finger down, they are different. So you're not getting the exact same yellow shade, which I think is really important to point out. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with this palette. I think it's such a unique take on a winter or like a holiday color story. I do totally see winter whenever I look into this palette, but not necessarily right away holiday. But I think that that's so fun. You don't have to have a traditional like red and green look for the holidays. I think the blue is just so beautiful, but then gold screams holidays to me too. So I just think it's really fun. I think that Doodles by the Bunny and Gourmande Girls did a great job with this palette. Again, this is already available $54.99, and I do have a code. You guys let me know your favorite look in the comments. And as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping. Bye.